Kia ora tātou katoa. Ngā mihi whakatau e te tangata o ngā hau e whā. Te reira mihi mai, whakatau mai. Tēnā rā tātou katoa te rangatira, tēnā koe te rangatira o tēnei rōpū, Trustpower. Thank you so much for those kind words. Te reira te tangata o ngā hau e whā, all you wonderful people, you servants, servants of the people, by the people, for the people. I greet you and salute you on those that are impoverished and those that on a daily basis marinate in things that no human has the right to see or marinate in. So on behalf of my wife and I and our family, I salute you. Round of applause for yourselves, please. Here I am, standing within the opulence of this magnificent city, within the opulence of this marquee, for a little boy with 6 brothers and 5 sisters, born on the perimeter of the Waiapu River in Ruatoria, at the foot of the Hikurangi Mountain, in a 2-bedroom corrugated iron tin shack with dirt floors and boxes for cupboards, where candlelit dinners were the norm, where we would eagerly anticipate the prau rewana or the prau crow being lifted from the open fire by my mum and smeared generously with pork fat and golden syrup so that it would slide effortlessly down the larynx, and then she would promptly follow it up with a tablespoon of cod liver oil and attempt to convince us that it was good for us. Out of that 2-bedroom tin shack, Henare O'Keefe had more than a father. He had a daddy. He had a daddy. He was a man of the land, did everything to put food on the table. But unbeknown to him, he had a PhD in relationships. He knew the value of relationships. He knew you had to honor them. You had to nurture them. You had to nourish them. He knew the value of relationships. And I want to thank my dad for that. If I can be half the man he grew to be, I'd be doing okay. And then we had the mother. She called a spade a spade. Black was black and white was white. She was the disciplinarian, a regal woman. She was the homekeeper. Mum was always home, always somebody home. In fact, if I was the Prime Minister for a day, I would pay one parent to stay home full time. That's what I would do. You agree with that? I'll just get a few things off my chest and we'll have a bit of fun. So, 2-bedroom tin shack. And how's this for whakapapa? How's this for genealogy? 2 paddocks over the back of us down Waimatatini Road in Ruatoria lived Sir Apirana Ngata. 3 paddocks the other way was the Parata family, Hekia or Sissy as we called her at school. Across the river was the infamous journalist Derek Fox. Next to him was the legendary All Black fullback George Napier. 18 kilometres that way was Parekura Horomia, Sir Arnold Reedy, Sir Tamati Reedy. What was it that out of the bosom, out of the loins of this inconspicuous little settlement on the east coast of the North Island was spewed forth all these individuals who were to go on to have a significant impact on the footprint of this country? For good or for bad, you be the judge of that. But I would suggest one thing, one common thread that permeates through all of that, inevitably was the 2-bedroom tin shack. I thank God time and time again, whenever I'm in doubt, I pull that 2-bedroom tin shack out. And I err on the side of caution. I let the patriarch, that patriarchal constitution, and that matriarchal constitution dictate the terms. But anyway, enough about that. What I'm about to say, you've heard it all before. You know it. You've lived it. You've been in the trenches. You have gone where angels fear to tread. You have put self aside. You are an ilk where you can give without loving, but you can't love without giving. That's you. You are willing to go the nth degree for the benefit of others. You cannot legislate that. You cannot put that in a KPI or an output. No law can give you that. Your passion, your compassion, the tears that often cascade down your cheeks, that's where the magic is. You cannot legislate that. And I'm standing here before you, my peers, me, standing before you. I'm so humbled. I am so very, very humbled to be in your company on this day, to marinate in your aura. Not often are your exploits trumpeted from the rooftops. Not often. The people don't see the early hours of the morning, the sleepless nights, when at times, unknowingly, you neglect your own loved ones. You put others before your own family. You've done that time and time again. And for Trustpower, this doesn't happen often enough. For you, the social conscience of your institution, to acknowledge these unsung heroes. Oh. I can tell you many stories. They could flow trippingly from the tip of my tongue. 65 years young, I've been on this earth. I married this spunky Pākehā chick from Takapo in the central North Island. We married when we were 17. We met when we were 17, married when we were 18. We had 3 biological children of our own, 1 adopted, and 200 foster children. I can tell you now, it's been the most rewarding and uplifting time of my life. I knew what it was to be a daddy. Not a father, but a daddy. These children came from homes that would make Jake the Muss look like a pussycat. It's not an exaggeration. And I could wax lyrical about any one of those children. And you would stand in awe. You would marvel at the miracle that unfolded. Because Pam and I, we believe there's no such thing as a bad baby. They're not born like that. They are not born like that. We've got to get to the heart, got to get to the core of the problem. Go where angels fear to tread, brick by brick, mortar by mortar, sinew by sinew, cell by cell, one at a time, one at a time. Are you willing to go the extra length? Because if you're not, if we're not, we might as well go and pick apples. Go and pick apples. As I said, I could wax lyrical about any one of those children. But one in particular I want to mention. We fostered him, his 4 sisters, and his mother. Came from a home, from the tinny houses. Saw things that no child had the right to see. 2006, this same young man was named the top Shakespearean actor in Australasia. The top. In 2008, he won the Lexus Opera Quest in the Auckland Town Hall. The Prime Minister was there. The Governor General was there. The New Zealand Symphony Orchestra in all of its glory was there. And of course, Umwa and Pamela. We went from sausage sizzles and champagne and caviar overnight. And there we are. This young man, the 6 of the best, any one of them would have done justice to the best opera singer in New Zealand. But oh no, it wasn't to be. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the Lexus 2008 is, and his name just cut through the air, Philip Rhodes. I'm standing there. It's not an exaggeration. I'm looking up at the stage at this magnificent specimen, and I'm thinking, this wasn't supposed to happen. You weren't supposed to be a famous opera singer. You're supposed to be an alcoholic. You're supposed to be a drug addict. You're supposed to be a woman beater. You weren't supposed to be up on that stage with the New Zealand Symphony Orchestra. It wasn't supposed to happen. But it did. $10,000 cash, a trip for two around the world. Oh my God, why wouldn't we keep going? I'm looking for Philip Rhodes, the engineer, Philip Rhodes, the fitter, Philip Rhodes, the school teacher. I'm going to scour this country and just rip it out. Drag them out screaming if we have to, with your help. 2 days later, I get a phone call. Is this Henare O'Keefe? Yes, it is. This is Kitty. Kitty who? Honestly. Kitty Te Kanawa. Oh, how are you? Lovely to talk to you. Lovely. What's that boy of yours doing? Oh, well, I think he's going to New South Wales. That was the plan. She said, no. No more 10 guitars for him. You give him to me. He's going to Cardiff, to the best voice coach in the world, Dennis O'Neill. And I inquired as to the economics of it all. When she replied, I said, that's a lot of sausage sizzles. She promptly said, you leave that to me. You and Pam just continue to be a mum and dad. 3 years in Cardiff. How about walking into a classroom and there's Luciano Pavarotti, there's Jose Carreras, Placido Domingo. How would you like to have classmates like that? And guess what? Come July of next year, this magnificent specimen will make his debut at Covent Garden. Well, and I think we're going to be there. He tells me we're going to be there. That makes it all worthwhile. I could tell you story after story after story. Young men and women that were given up. And guess what? A good Samaritan came along. You, and you, and you, and you. I wish I could put this in a bottle and sprinkle it all over this country. Here's where the magic is. Here's where it is. And tomorrow, we're going to judge your pedigree. And as I said to my good friend, the Mayor of Wairoa, I'm rather partial to kinners and crayfish. We're going to judge your pedigree. And I want you to open the eyes of my heart. You're not public speakers. That's not why you're here. Open the eyes of my heart. Let the tears cascade down your cheeks. Keep it real. Just be yourself. Why are you nervous? Why are you? We're the ones should be nervous. If in doubt, let the mother out. If in doubt, let the father out. If while pursuing distant dreams your bright hopes turn to grey, don't wait for reassuring words or hands to lead the way. For self will you find a soul with dreams the same as yours? Not often will another help you pass through untried doors. If inner forces urge you to take a course unknown, you be ready to go all the way, yes, all the way alone. Now that's not to say you shouldn't draw lessons from the best. Just don't depend on lauding words to spur you on your quest. Find confidence within your heart and let that be your guide. Strive even harder toward your dreams and they won't be denied. And my final note is this. If you want to live in the kind of town that's the kind of town you like, you don't have to pack your clothes and go on a long hike, because elsewhere you'll find what you've left behind. There isn't anything new. When you knock your town, it's a knock at yourself. It isn't your town, it's you. Great towns aren't built by people less afraid in case someone else gets ahead. If everybody works and nobody shirks, you can raise a town from the dead. And so while you make your personal stake, your neighbor can make one too. Your town, my town, our town can be what you want it to be. It isn't your town, it's you. E tangiana oe ine wangengeana oe ene atito parira no hoite aroha konga kote atua ine Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Henare O'Keefe, and I am indeed the International Ambassador of Love.